All right, guys, so in this video, we're gonna cover the 3 common mistakes I see players make in their pool game that's stopping them from running out. The first one being their stroke. Their second one being not playing quite enough angles on their balls to allow themselves an easy maneuvering of the cue ball around the table. And then the last one is just rushing. And we're gonna talk about these 3 things and how to fix them. Let's get this video started. All right, so the first one is just your stroke. So I see this a lot, and I'm just gonna use this straight on shot into the camera so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now, imagine this is a little bit of a tougher shot and it's not straight in, okay? What I tend to see a lot of players do, especially when using English or left or right, it doesn't matter what. What I see a lot of people do is they'll go down on their shot, okay? And let's say they want to put left. So they aim center and they'll use like backhand English where they aim center and then move the back. And then what I'll see them do is do this. And if you saw, my arm kind of went out like this, or if they're using left, they'll go, if they're using my right, they'll go. And they'll try to guide the cue ball, okay? And you saw what happened when I tried to do that. I ended up miscuing, okay? But what this also does in terms of the shot is it changes the shot line. When I do this, and let's say I aim over here, but then I move my stick even further down, I am actually changing the direction of my shot path, usually throwing it out of line for the pocket. Let's say I'm aimed here for the 7 in the corner, okay? And I'm aimed beautifully, I'm aimed perfect. And then all of a sudden I go like this. And I jump my whole body out of the way because I want to put right hand English on it to spin it back over here. You know, this changes the shot line of your shot. And especially right now, I'm using a Predator, right? I'm using the Revo, I have the 11-8, okay? And so as soon as I change the direction of my stick at all, because this is a low deflection shaft, it's supposed to travel straight down that line. So if I'm aimed here center ball and all of a sudden I go like this, I'm literally driving my cue ball towards the outside of the 2 ball, okay? So this is a very, very common mistake that I see. Such an easy fix is practice stroking drills, okay? You can do something like where you're on the line of the felt and practice stroking through. You know, imagine your cue ball is one of the dots right here. Give your practice strokes and then follow through and see if you can keep the stick on the line, okay? I also have another video where I talk about practicing straight in shots to really hone your stroke and make sure that you're always stroking straight. You basically set up a straight in shot and you back it up, you back up, and you just practice shooting in straight in shots from here, from here, from here. And your goal is just to basically just stop the cue ball where it is. And that way you know everything's in perfect line. Because you can make this shot, and I'll give you an example here. You should really just watch the video, but you can make this shot over here. And so have the cue ball, I didn't do a very good job. But this cue ball can still come off to the side because the pocket's pretty big. You can cheat the pocket either way. So, making sure that your stroke goes straight every single time. And the other part about this that's really important about your stroke going straight is because if you're always doing this like what I call body English, where you're moving your body, you'll never know if you were aimed correctly from the beginning. If you just take the shot and you just stroke straight through this ball and you miss it, if you know 100% that you're going straight, then you know you just misaimed your shot. And that way you can get better. You can analyze it and get better. But if you're doing this body English, then there's a lot of variables that are coming into the fact that you missed the ball, okay? So you get better just by making sure you're consistently stroking straight, okay? Let's move on to number 2. All right, guys, the next one is not playing enough angles. And so we're gonna use the simple layout to illustrate this point. But what I see is a lot of people just don't play enough angles. Usually because they want to be straighter for ball pocketing, right? You know, when the ball's straighter, it's much easier to pocket. When you have a steeper angle, it's just harder to pocket the ball, right? Especially for my beginner intermediate players that don't quite have the pocketing ability of maybe like a more advanced player, right? And so for this example, you have the 7 when you get to 8 to get to the 9. And so what I see oftentimes with a shot like this is players will just take this, just play a stop shot, okay? And so what ends up happening is this ball is almost straight in. And so in order to get to the 9 ball over to this side of the table, people usually have to kind of like cheat the pocket, and then they have to power it over there to get to the 9, and then all of a sudden something like that's funny. I didn't even try to do that. That's funny. They end up missing the ball, and usually not that good, I guess. They don't usually miss it that good. But you have to power it, and you see how hard I had to hit to get over here. And you know, because you have to power it so hard, you lose a lot of the control of the cue ball. Okay, I did get the shot. I did make the 8 ball, but obviously the shot to go for is the one in the corner there. Okay, and so again, the difference between the more advanced player and the intermediate player is that the advanced player is going to take the opportunity to get a steeper angle, okay, to make it easier to get across table. So watch what happens when I get this steeper angle now. I'm just going to draw it back a little bit. Okay, now I have a steeper angle. It looks like it's difficult, but watch how easy I have to hit this 8 ball to get to the 9. See how soft I hit that ball? And I'm perfect on the 9 ball, right? The 9 ball is it's not a difficult shot at all. And I just rolled the 8 ball. I didn't have to hit it, I didn't have to power it. And so this is a very simple example to illustrate when you don't have angles, when you don't get angles on the balls, you have to power things. And this is a 7-foot valley, but like, let's say a 9-foot Brunswick where the pockets are a little bit tighter, you know, the more things that you hit harder, the more likely you are to rattle. Okay, and that gets frustrating when you get onto a table and you know you're supposed to get out. You know, a table like this, most players, intermediate players, are thinking, yeah, I should get out from here, and so they'll play this stop shot. They'll get almost straight, and they'll go, oh man, okay, now I have to do this to get to the 9 ball. And something crazy like that, I still didn't make an 8 ball. That's so funny. I'm on fire with that 8 ball today, guys. But you have to do something crazy like that to get over here instead of just playing the steeper angle. Okay, angles is how you move around the table. If you have a steep angle, even let's say, yeah. Let's say this was the ball that we had to get to now down here, right? If I have it straighter in, more straight in, I still have to power this ball to try to draw it back. Now, of course, we always try to teach to stroke things better so you don't have to power it so hard even with the draw. But notice, watch this. If I have this angle here, watch how soft I can hit this ball with the proper spin, and watch how easy it is to just pull it back. So easy. I barely hit that ball and I got the perfect shape. So just to illustrate the point, angles, angles, angles. You need more angle. Okay, you're probably not playing enough angle. Okay, let's move on to the third mistake. All right, guys, the third one is rushing. Now, all 3 of these mistakes I've made over my pool experience, but this one seems to be one that even I still go through every once in a while. Rushing. And what happens is you play the entire table perfectly and you're so excited. You're getting down to the last few balls. Maybe you're in a tournament to get into the money. You get down to the last 3 balls and all of a sudden you're playing good, you're feeling good. So what happens is you start to increase the pace a little bit because you're getting so excited, right? You pull this back. All right. Now we're getting excited. Oh, we're getting to the last ball, and all of a sudden, oh man, I didn't take my time to really see the angle. And a lot of times what ends up happening is players will shoot a ball, and before they even see the angle of the shot, they're already bending down to get in front of the cue ball because, well, that's an easy shot, right? They go, oh, that's an easy shot. I know how to get to the 9 there. And they don't take the time to analyze it and look at the angle and really have a plan of what they're going to do to get to the 9 ball. They just know, I just got to hit it with the bottom. It's going to come back. It's going to be perfect. And then they miss the shot. This is something I still fall victim to. Everybody does it. And when I'm playing in league and people are like, I don't know how I missed that. It's such an easy shot, and they get so down on themselves. But it's because they didn't set themselves up for the proper, to get a really good analysis of what happened because they just rushed the shot. If they would have taken their time, the shot probably would have went in. But because they rushed, they got down quick before they even looked at what they're doing, and they miss. So, how do you stop yourself from rushing? Really, the biggest thing that you can do as a pool player, and this will kind of fix actually a lot of what we're kind of going over. It's just this one thing: pre-shot routine. If you can create a routine that you do every single time before you shoot a ball, then you won't rush, because you have to do the same thing, take the same amount of time before every shot, okay? Full disclosure, I do use a pre-shot routine, but I use a pre-shot routine connected to a type of aiming system. Now, it's not exactly what Stan Sheffett does, but I do use a version of CTE, of center to edge. And what I find is that because I do this version of CTE, it forces me to really look at every single shot. So I do not rush anymore. For the most part, there's times where like I'm playing on a 7-foot table, which is a lot easier than playing on a 9-foot table. Things just feel like I know exactly the angle, and so I don't use it sometimes. But for the most part, I always do it. And so what this causes me to do is it causes me to look at the angle before, choose where I'm going to align my body, okay? Get an idea of how hard I'm going to hit it. And I kind of use that in my pre-strokes in the air. I don't do this when I'm down on the shot. I do it in the air, okay? I know my angle, okay? I drop down into my shot. I know exactly how I'm going to get to the 9 ball before I even get down on the shot, and then I execute. So now when I have this 9 ball, I'm straight in on the 9 ball. So instead of just getting down and whacking at it, again, I have a plan on exactly how to approach it. And I go through that plan. I see what I'm aiming at. I'm standing behind my shot. I go down on my shot. Okay? And I execute. Now, sometimes, the only thing that I would say in my game that I could probably narrow down even more is the amount of pre-strokes that I do while I'm down the table. That's something that's a little bit different for me every single time. And that's something in my own game, and you can try to implement into your game. I know some people do like a 1, 2, 3 pause, maybe an extra one, pause, and shoot. Now, that's not for everybody, but you want to try to make everything consistent that you do before your shot, and this will keep you from rushing all of your shots, okay? One of the things that the pre-shot routine will clear up too is if you have a plan before you shoot, right? If you have a plan before you shoot, let me pull out these balls again. Right? If you have a plan before you shoot, you can come over here and you can build this into your pre-shot routine to look at the angle that you want to be at. Look at where you need to be. I want to be more out here, so I want to draw it back more. I don't want to be so straight. So now you go through your pre-shot routine, right? Okay, drop into my shot. I know I need to draw it back. There I am, okay? I see kind of where my angle's at. I see the zone that I need to be in for the 9 ball. Okay, I come behind my shot. I drop into my shot. and then I execute. Same thing with the 9 ball. I know I don't need to get into anywhere on the table. I just need to pocket the ball. So I still look at where I need to line my body. I drop down into my shot. And I execute. Super important for this game is to find a pre-shot routine that works for you. Not everybody's pre-shot routine is going to be the same, but you want something that's workable. Okay, and again, this will keep you from rushing. You can plan all your stuff in your pre-shot routine, your angles, right? You can plan what English you're going to use so that when you get down on the shot, you're not like, wait, I need to put more or more, and you don't do any kind of twist with your body, right? The pre-shot routine is probably one of the most important parts of the game that people overlook, okay? So build that into your strategy, and hopefully you'll see an improvement very quickly. You should see this in a couple weeks. This week. This week it should be better. Okay, practice your pre-shot routine. Okay, I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you can implement it very quickly into your game. If you like these kind of videos, please consider subscribing. Okay, hit the little notification bell so you are alerted when I post new videos. And if you like this video, just smash the like button for me. It really helps my videos reach a wider audience. And I appreciate you guys for watching. And we'll see you in the next video.